Hello everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Tika, the Cosmic Witch here. If you are new to the channel or to the Cosmic Coven, then welcome aboard. You are in for a treat. My name is Tika and this is going to be a quick update on Saturn going direct, finally. So back in April, on April 29th, Saturn did go retrograde while in Capricorn. Which is really funny because Saturn is actually naturally ruled by Capricorn. And so Saturn is ruled by the 10th house, which is all about our long-term careers, our long-term commitments, and our, how we really commit ourselves to things, how we really commit ourselves to people, and what does that really look like for us. Now, I'm going deep into it right away because I don't want this video to be too long. I know it's been a while that I've seen you guys, I know. So I apologize for this video being a little late. But so Saturn officially went direct as of yesterday / this morning, depending on who or what charts you look at. So last night / this morning, Saturn has officially gone direct. And so since April 29th to this time, we have been experiencing all types of internal revelations and internal defeat that maybe you felt as though you were taking really personally and really seriously, and that is the vibes and the energy of Saturn's retrograde. So Saturn, again, is by Capricorn, and as you know, Capricorns, they are very stubborn. They are earth signs, they're rooted, they take things very seriously. Commitment is very serious for them. When we think about commitment, I think about the devil card in the tarot and the fact that, the devil is always with his horns, the goat, and the commitment of you can have your cake and you can eat it too. And can you really do that? Can you handle that type of greed and that type of energy? Can you handle the overwhelmingness of having everything that you want all at once? So with the retrograde, I wrote a blog piece about this, so I will be linking that description of the link to the blog piece for you guys in the description box so that you are able to click to see and kind of reflect on what these past months have been like for you. And honestly, I think it'd be a really good idea to do that first or after this video so that you are able to kind of reflect on what's been happening so far. And so some of the things I talked about that we were going to be experiencing during the Saturn retrograde included, our relationships to people, how we handle our relationships to people, how we choose to associate ourselves with people, and, challenges, major challenges. Saturn is a very challenging energy. Capricorn is very challenging. Capricorns are very hard on themselves in regards to being their own best critic, but also their worst critic because they are so harsh on themselves. So if you feel as though you've been overly analyzing your things that you're doing, maybe you're on a new path, a new career, a new spiritual path, whatever it is, and you feel as though, am I doing this right? I don't know. What should I be doing instead? Da 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 da. And so all those self-doubts were really heavy at this time of the year because of the Saturn retrograde. Now, I will like to say as well that you need to check to see where Saturn falls in your chart, and also any Capricorn energy and where that falls in your chart. And also take a look at your 10th house because that is what is naturally ruled by Saturn, and so those parts of your life is what is being activated. So take a look at that and take a look to see what's been activated for you in these past months, and have you really been focusing on that? And if not, what can you do now that Saturn is direct to embrace the challenges now booming away and all this positivity now coming through, and embracing that, the light side of the Capricorn, which is the determination, the motivation, the drive, the discipline, okay? And of course the control. Saturn is also all about control. So what do you control in your life? Do you control anything? What are you controlling? And are you happy with how tightly your grip is on situations? Are you gripping too tightly on situations? And if you have been, maybe that's why they've been so stagnant, right? So these are all things you want to ask yourself when you are watching this video. So maybe take some notes, pause it, go back to the blog piece and read that, and come back to this as well. So As of right now, we do have our third quarter moon coming up this Sunday, and we just had our full moon in Pisces, and so the moon is slowly starting to go back into hiding and disappearing more and more each day. Mother Moon is going away from us, and so we are being asked to do the same. And I looked at the charts for today's exact event, and there's still a couple of aspects I do want to discuss that I think really has to do with the Saturn retrograde and now Saturn going back direct. So first things first, Pluto is trine to Mars and the moon and the sun still. So this drive for destruction and complete rebirth and complete just new moon, new me, like, you know, new season, like new me type of energy. So if things are ending for you and things are not going well for you, and that can include in your relationships, that could be your, you know, long-term relationships, especially because when Saturn was going retrograde, at the exact moment when it was going retrograde, it was happening and triggered in the 8th house. Okay, and so yes, the houses change every 2 hours and etc., but at the exact time when it was starting, that is where Saturn was. And so those triggers I am seeing is what's going to be affected the most from this change. And so that being said, are you trying to control other people's values and possessions? What are their possessions? Are you trying to control who the possessions are and what they are? Are you becoming jealous because you're not part of that list? You know, how have your relationships with people and their assets, how has that reflected you? And by that I mean, you know, are you seeing people becoming successful and, you know, receiving the things that they've called into their life, and are you being supportive of that? Or are you just, you know, the evil eye, the green envy, and just, you know, not able to express gratitude for the people around you? Because the way you react to other people's assets, the 8th house is complete opposite to the 2nd house, which is about your assets. So how you're reacting to that is completely going to reflect the way you are with your own. If you can't handle someone else's abundance, how can you handle your own? And so with Saturn's retrograde, it was really allowing us to really go inwards, to really think about, you know, how we react to people and, you know, how we treat ourselves and how harsh we can be on ourselves and the doubt that we have in ourselves and not pushing forward, not going the next step, the next mile, even though we know we are more than capable of doing so, simply because we are just talking ourselves out of it completely. So that all should be, you know, not completely gone. Of course, there's going to be days where you're going to feel like you could have done better, you could do this differently, and etc. But at the end of the day, the shadow, the heavy clouds, I'm gonna call it clouds, that were there for you to, you know, cast away your parade and telling that you can't do it or you're not good enough, that is going to be, you know, moving away from that. We're moving away from that now, okay? So Pluto is trine to Mars and the sun and the moon. So yeah, so complete like destruction. And again, the moon, relationships, our emotions. And so again, Pluto, which is actually naturally ruled by the 8th house, funny enough, is now trine to that with this energy. So again, the 8th house is really coming through with these whole like, okay, this is not working, okay, goodbye. This is not working, okay, goodbye. And it's not a bad thing. So embrace all of it. Now, it could also mean a new beginning to a new career, a new pathway, a new long-term commitment that's being brought to you now. If there is something that's being brought to you now, understand that it is for your highest good and it is going to be following your highest excitement. So you definitely want to, first, of course, take your time to think it over, you know, reflect, meditate with your spirit guides and things like that. But what is coming for you now is definitely for you. But I do want to say that we do need to ensure that we are thinking about it first, because as I was mentioning in my previous videos, Neptune is still opposition to the moon, to the sun and to Mars. And so there's still this like, this need for balance of fantasy and reality. And so it's great for us to think that everyone wants our best interests. And yes, now that Saturn retrograde is done, you know, things should be less challenging, but those Neptune oppositions are still telling us like, yes, the challenges are gone, but that doesn't mean the illusion is. Challenges and illusions are completely different things, okay? They are not under the same umbrella. They're just not. So be very aware of that as well. The other aspect I wanted to talk about, oh, so Jupiter is still square to Mars. That is still, it's still in a tough aspect, so there's still that too. So yes, there's that idea of possible challenges in regards to optimism, but again, because Saturn is now direct, Saturn is making some beautiful trines as well with the moon, I believe, and there are some tough aspects with Saturn in terms of like being square to Mercury and to Mars. So yes, it's coming out of retrograde, but for the next couple of days, or the next 4 or 5 days, I would say, we are going to be in the shadow period, and so the tough aspects are still there. So with Mars and Mercury, we want to ensure that we are watching our tongues. Our words are our wands, and Capricorns, they keep things all in until one day they say, you know what, enough, and then they just explode. So you really want to ensure that you are not doing that. So really watch your tongue. You might be really impatient this week. That's okay. Take your time. If you find yourself in a place where you're just like, oh my God, why is this taking so long? You are exactly where you need to be, okay? So don't even worry about anything. Just connect to your insides right now, okay? So we are still in the shadow period, so there's no need for us to, you know, get all like, okay, let's go and just do all these things. No, chill. Chill still chill, and really reflect. I think this is a really good time for everyone to really do a lot of journaling and self-reflection. Maybe do a nice, you know, 10-card tarot spread for yourself, and really looking at what Saturn retrograde was here to teach you, what challenges and boundaries were put up, and what is now being manifested into your life now. What blessings are being brought into your life now that Saturn's retrograde is over. Because again, those blessings will come through, and again, Capricorn is all about that long-term commitment, so those things that will be coming through for you are for your greater good, okay? So that's really all I really have to say about the directiveness of Saturn until it's really out of the shadowiness. You know, some of the aspects, some of the energy of the retrograde is still lingering, and so that's why I'm saying, like, watch your tongue. You know, don't rush to get to places. You know, take your time, because we are still in the shadow period, so there's a little bit of a mix of optimism and still this like doubt and illusion and things like that. So we want to be really careful with that. And again, look to see what is in your 10th house, to see what was activated for you at this time, because again, the 10th house is ruled by Capricorn. Look to see where Saturn is in your chart, and look to see what challenges you had in that area of your life, and you know, how that's changing now for you. And then, you know, look to see where Capricorn falls in your chart if you have any Capricorn energy. So for my chart personally, my Saturn is in Pisces, and it's in my first house. So for me, you know, that's my direct personality and my spirituality practices being taken super seriously, and the challenges I've had with those, and how that's going to affect me now. And of course, my Neptune, which is in the 12th house, because of course, that was actually, my Neptune is in Capricorn, so they're complete opposite of each other, which is really funny. But those are challenges that I'm looking at to see, okay, what was my challenges back then, or these past few months, and where am I now with those things, and how do I feel about that, and what is Spirit saying to me? And so those are some things that I'll be asking myself, and I really recommend that you guys do the same. So I'm going to link the blog post for you guys below. I want to say thank you so much for your patience and sticking around. I really appreciate you guys. I really love doing these videos. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this, or you know, if you enjoy this video, if this hit for you. Let me know where Capricorn falls in your chart. Let me know what's in your 10th house, and what that's been like for you, and what your challenges were, and what you're manifesting now, and what those blessings are looking like for you now. Let me know what that looks like for you. And I also want to say that the full moon oils and the full moon detox bath soaks have officially stopped and have been done charging now. They've been charging since the full moon, and Now that the moon is gone, I still allow them to charge with other tools that I use, and so those are now completely done charging, and I'm really happy with the results. So for those of you who have ordered your oils and bath soaks, thank you so much. I appreciate you supporting my livelihood, myself. This is not a hobby for me, guys. This is actually my passion and my career that I'm trying to make my full-time career. So you supporting me really means the most, because it's allowed me to make that happen sooner rather than later. So if you have ordered those will be shipped out on either Friday or Saturday, depends on Canada Post, honestly. So you guys will be receiving those emails by the Saturday, the absolute latest. So if you did not receive an email, let me know by Saturday. Yeah, that's basically it, guys. So I will see you guys in my next video, which will be my weekly intuitive message. But again, let me know how this goes, and if you are a Capricorn, let me also know how this Saturn retrograde has been for you, and the directiveness you're receiving now, and how beautiful that's been, and the blessings that are coming through now. And so yeah, that's all I have to say. I was thinking about pulling some cards for this video, but I'm deciding not to. I'm going to keep it all astrology, all aspects only. So yeah, Capricorn energy is very much about the facts. So I decided to respect that. And Capricorns, if you're watching, hello Capricorns. Thank you for keeping us all on our toes, and, you know, letting us know when you're not about our energy, because we appreciate your bluntness as well. And yeah, so you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video, and